This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hey everybody, this is Chase from Barrel Age Flicks. Go ahead and check out our Patreon for raw, uncut footage and early access to all of our episodes. The link is in the description and it's only $5 a month. Thanks for listening.
The film which you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 5 youths. It is all the more tragic in that they were young. But had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to see, as much of the mad and macabre as they were to see that day. For them, an idyllic summer afternoon became a nightmare.
You're going the wrong way. Stop your... My friend needs help. My friend right now. My friend's dying. My friend's being hurt.
Take yourself a deep breath.
Maybe she'd like to stay for supper.
Everything's gonna be fine real soon. I promise.
Stop! No! Please! Stop! Shit! Aaron! Aaron!
No!
Look, your mama, she likes me.
What's wrong with you fucking people?
This is the only known image of Thomas Hewitt, the man they call Leatherface.
Hey everybody, this is Barrel Age Flicks. I'm Lenny, yeah man, and this is...
Hey, this is Ron. Let's drink and talk some movies.
And
Hey guys, this is Sammy. Let's do this.
we also have...
What's going on, you fucking nerds? This is Tyler. Let's talk about some modern mythology.
And finally...
This is Stu. Let's drink, motherfucker.
Yeah man, here we go, and this is going to be our second entrance of the October Slasher series. So excited. Here we go. All right, everyone. So we're going to be doing Leatherface.
Yeah!
Well, not doing him because that would be really fucking morbid, but...
Dude, what
He might be into
fuck
that.
did you just say?
He might be into
kinda
that.
hot.
He grabs
No.
the face a lot.
So...
Very tactile.
Squishy.
Yeah, well, the guy that... We'll get into it with the guy that plays Leatherface. I don't know, maybe. So...
Really?
No, so...
Wow, what's the time in the show? Not even 30 seconds.
Yes.
And already.
Spit takes. So, so with what we're doing with the Halloween thing is we each have kind of chosen the iconic sort of horror characters that we portrayed last Halloween. I was Leatherface, and so I went with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of course. Now, the one that I wanted to talk about specifically, but we're going to mention the other ones, of course. It was the 2003 remake, and then also a few years later they had the Origins, which kind of shows you how they kind of became.
Yes, that
the way they
was
were,
released in 2006.
which was fucking brilliant. We'll get into that anyway. So
super good.
before we talk about all of that, I'm going to talk about the alcohol that we're going to be featuring today, which is so. Quick shout out for those Texans that are listening. I'm from Texas, and there's an alcohol out there called Ziegenbock that is brewed and distributed only in Texas, only for Texans. I couldn't get my hands on it soon enough for the show. My apologies. So for a runner-up, we were going with Shinerbach, which if you were to compare for me having drank Ziegenbock, I can tell you that it's a slightly smoother version of this beer.
Oh.
This beer is brewed in Shiner, Texas, and it is kind of cool in the way that Shiner, Texas, I looked it up, and their population is just over 2,000 people.
Oh, wow.
It's a very small little place. And literally, the brewery is like the heart and soul of this town. Like, without the brewery, there wouldn't be a town.
Yeah.
Which is very kind of similar and sort of an homage to with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, whereas the whole slaughterhouse and meatpacking plant, that was like the bread and butter of that town. And when it goes under, the whole town kind of just goes off, wipes off the map.
Yeah,
but this
the town
family decides they're going to stay, and they're not going to leave the place of their birth, and there's a whole thing on that. So, anyways, enjoy. Tell me what you think.
I'm really curious. Cheers, guys.
Prost.
Yep. Ding. Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
It's not a bad dark ale. It's not bad. I will
It's a
say
very
again,
easy drinking beer.
yeah, like it goes down easy. The Ziegenbach's actually slightly smoother even, and it's.
I'm not gonna lie.
You look perplexed.
It's got a very familiar taste to it. Like it tastes like a beer that I've had before, but I thought I've had this before, but I don't think I have. It looks familiar, but something about it, it's
a very Bach style.
Well, it's got a German vibe, as did Ziegenbach. So they have a very strong German culture and background in Texas, actually.
Well, Bavarian, not Belgium, Bavarian.
Which is why you have like
you're right.
one of the towns out there in Texas that was near where I lived was called Pflugerville. Pflugerville.
That's where the Who's live as well.
That's exactly where my mind.
No, funny story.
Ducker.
When we moved there, and we were staying with my in-laws, my wife was on the phone talking to somebody, and she was trying to explain to them I've moved and this is my new address. And the bitch on the other line legitimately thought my wife was making this shit up. She's like, she literally said, I don't believe you. I don't believe that's a real place.
I live at 123 Main Street, Pflugerville.
Yeah, she's like, Pflugerville, you don't believe?
The home
like,
of the Flugerhorn.
She's like, I'm sorry, but it sounds made up like something out of Dr. Seuss. And she's like, cool, fucking Google it. Here's how you spell it. And she spelled it for her, and it begins with a P.
Even better.
Pflugerville. It's spelled Pflugerville.
So it's a P is silent and everything.
Yeah, it's German. So
No, the P is pronounced as an H. Or the F.
Okay.
Well, no, my uncle kept like purposefully pronouncing the P.
Pflugerville?
So you live in Pflugerville?
Pfluger.
You don't say the P.
Pfluger.
Drive me nuts. So look, I should be wearing lederhosen when I say it. But anyway, so yeah. There's a very strong German influence and German kind of background and heritage in Texas. So you have a lot of kind of German dark beers that originate from there.
Because when I think of Texas, I think of Germans.
Why don't you go ahead and give your review of this beer that you brought in first?
It's so flugery.
It's not one that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to buy a 6-pack of it necessarily. But like if I see it at a party or like if I show up at someone's house and like, hey, do you want a beer? And they hand me one of these, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I give it like, I don't know, 1 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down. It's just kind of one of your
mediocre beers.
It's not like, oh my God,
That's
but it's also not
exactly
terrible.
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
1 thumb up.
It's a step up from like fucking Bud Light or something.
Like I said, if somebody offered me at a party, I'd drink it. And you drink a shitload of these. I mean, you try and get yourself drunk and everything else. But overall, it just feels like
it's not a Guinness. It's not something you're going to sit there and
take in.
It's
a middle lane beer.
This is definitely a mediocre beer. It's okay. It's a 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down. I agree with you on that. That's how I feel about this. It's
go Fluger yourself.
I mean, would I go and buy a 6-pack and put this in my fridge? No. If somebody offered it to me, I'll drink it. But it's not something I would go out and buy. So like I said, it's good for the show. I mean, the thing it's brewed in Texas, right?
Yeah,
yeah. So it works out. But
I just wish I'll try to figure out a way to get my hands on some Ziegenbach, and I'll put it on one of the shows or something so you guys can try it out eventually. But I just couldn't do it in time. So
how about you, Stu?
It's mediocre. This is what I believe Germans would think American beer tastes like. Just very.
That's a good
low.
That's a good point.
Nothing special about it. Bland. It's not bad, but it's not good. It
just is.
Yeah. This is German's American beer.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is pretty popular in the United States. I mean,
Scheinerbach is very well known.
And where'd you buy this at a Food Line? You said,
yeah, and I mean, like they have. It's very prevalent. This is very prevalent in Texas, but again, people that live in Texas, they either have this or Ziegenbach. One of the others, usually the ones that you'll see.
Yeah,
people have in their fridge.
All right, well, that's our reviews for that one. So let's go ahead and get into the movie.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
That's my catchphrase for sure. So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, the remake. I absolutely fucking loved this film. This is one of those films, and everyone note the time and date. I actually took the time to really do research on this film. Both films, this and then the origin story that came out shortly after.
You actually watched the film before we recorded?
I did.
Oh my God.
I'm not shooting from the hip.
Oh.
Okay, but I do have a question for you. Did you, before you saw this movie back in 2003, I assume you watched it back in 2003 when you saw it?
Yeah.
Have you seen the original beforehand?
Yes, when I was like a lot younger, but yes,
Okay,
I saw
so
the
you saw the-
original.
you saw the
and
original
I saw part 2, and I saw part 3. The one with I want to say part 3. Did part 3 have Matthew McConaughey?
No, that's part
in it?
4.
That was part 4, the new generation.
Yeah, that one was
Ben Renee
so
Zellweger.
fucking dumb. Anyways,
I've never seen Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I guess it's part 3.
Yeah, it is.
It is, but it's just called. I thought it was just titled Leatherface.
It is.
So, I don't necessarily have a lot of, well, I kind of do structure as far as like questions. I definitely have a few in my bag of tricks, but I just want to kind of discuss the film a little bit. First off, I know that everyone has. And I don't know if you guys are going to do this or not. I really don't care. I will stand my ground all fucking day. This is my favorite one by far. I know everyone goes, oh, the original. Everyone fucking does that. This was so much fucking better in my opinion. And it wasn't just because of the graphics and because of the higher budget or because of all that shit. It was the fact that I will tell you right now by watching the documentaries and going through everything I went through, every single person casted in both of these films were huge fans.
When you mean both, you mean the original and this one?
No, well, I'm talking about the 2003 remake and then the origin story.
Oh, the new beginning. Okay.
2006.
Both casts, and that includes Michael Bay, and that also includes the directors. 2 different directors for each film, though.
Marcus Nispel was the first one.
Yeah, these guys were, 1, they were huge fans of the original, okay, and 2, they had mad respect for the original. So they went out of their way to really fucking bring an absolute home run to really show their respect and their homage to the original film.
Yeah.
By doing what they've done here. And honestly, in my opinion, I think they did a fucking great job. One of the things that I love is first of all, Andrew, his last name's hard to pronounce. It's Bernarski. He was in, he's been in a lot of football movies. He played Zangief in fucking Street Fighter. He was in The Program. He played, I can't remember the guy's name in The Program, but he played a football player that was addicted to steroids. I'm a huge fucking fan of this guy.
I liked him in Any Given Sunday.
Yeah, anything I see with him in it, he is always super intense and really fucking brings it. And actually, Andrew found out just through the grapevine or whatever that they were doing this remake, and he was at a party or he was somewhere out in L.A. and heard that Michael Bay was there, and he sought Michael Bay out and was like, you have got to cast me as Leatherface. He's like, I will do whatever the fuck it takes. You've got to put me in this film as Leatherface. And Michael Bay was like, okay. And so they did some rehearsal shit and he fucking nailed it. And one of the reasons why is because this guy, the other Leatherfaces are intimidating, but not nearly as bad as him. And the reason why I say that is because this dude is fucking huge. He is huge. Mm-hmm. He's incredibly strong. He's one of those guys that even the cast members said that they trusted him with their lives. He actually got choked up when he found out about that because he worked so hard to be as safe as humanly possible when he did everything he did. And he had to be extremely athletic and extremely physical.
Yeah, it is one of the most physical, physicality.
He had to sprint.
Did he do his own stunts and everything?
He did all of his own stunts. He had to sprint after these people that were 50, 60 pounds lighter than him and were athletic. And he had to run full sprint while waving a fucking 35-pound chainsaw that's running at the same time, in the dark, in the woods. Yeah. And this guy, he embraced it, embraced all of it. He was like, I don't care. I was born for this role. And dude, just looking at him, the cast members said, even though they knew it was make-believe, they were fucking intimidated and scared because he's strong as shit. These are full-grown adults. And he fucking picks them up like they're children. Yeah. So, I mean, dude, he fucking nailed this role. And I just, that alone would make me such a big fan. And then we'll get into it in a second. But Arlie Ermy being in it was just the fucking icing on the cake, man. So what are your guys' opinions? I'm dying to hear it. I know you're going to be
I'll go last.
It's the original.
Okay. We've talked off air numerous times, and I think I've said it on air. I think this remake is probably one of the best remakes ever. It really is.
You're talking about horror remakes, right?
Yeah.
For any horror remake.
Yeah. I
there's
think
not many of them.
I mean, there's a fuck ton of remakes.
No, not many good
good ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it shows everything that a remake is supposed to be. Yes, it's still set in the same time period, but they modernize a lot of the filming techniques. they actually developed characters versus the original. That none of the characters were really developed.
Yeah.
So you actually started becoming involved with these characters and caring about what happened to them. I am going to disagree with you. I do like the original's Leatherface better. In my mind, it's just something more terrifying about just some smaller. He's smaller than this Leatherface, but just something, a normal person just going batshit fucking crazy, not some giant hulking beast that is already dominant thing, just somebody going fucking crazy and just destroying shit. To me, that's always more of a terrifying prospect than somebody that you already are naturally going to be a little wary of just because of their brutish size.
Yeah.
But I do think this is a great piece of film. And it's not something I got mad about once I saw it, and I didn't feel like they dishonored the history. I can totally see where you're saying that you could tell everybody had respect for the original, cared about the original, cared about doing it right, and it actually showed in film.
Well, I mean, and you had Toby Hooper as one of the writers and,
Yes.
and one of the brains going into this.
And signing off on everything, yes.
On everything. So I think that helps in doing a good remake, like a current remake, because so many of them do suck.
Yeah.
Like it isn't a common thing. I'm going to disagree, though.
Okay.
So, no. I remember actually, Ron and I saw this when we were dating in high school. It's one of the horror movies we went and we saw.
In the theaters.
Yep. And I remember leaving and going, okay, it was good. But again, you watch it now with a more critical eye. It was okay. It was okay. I actually like the 2006 installment, the origin story, better than this version. I thought it was better developed characters. They weren't so kitschy and cliche. I felt that they had more fight in them, even though, because honestly, like Jessica Biel or whatever the fuck her name is.
Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel.
That's Lenny. Yep, there it is.
That's what I hear on the table from him.
Wet t-shirt, Jessica Biel.
What, by the way, why was it so bleeping damp in this movie? Everything just felt squidgy and damp and disgusting. Like, why?
Because it's a dirty, disgusting place.
No,
and then she came along and she got
everybody
dirty with
is
it.
so hot and sweaty in that Texas heat. And
Actually, no, the
I'm sorry.
original
It
felt
looked like
more sweaty than
freaking swamp thing in that basement. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's well, the
It was
basement had.
ridiculous.
There was no reason to have all that water just dripping.
So much water.
Well, it's because it was raining
you're
really hard and
we
there was
have
a leak.
Jessica Biel and we gotta have her wet the whole time.
I did enjoy that. I did enjoy the wet t-shirt.
every guy
How
enjoyed
chafed
that.
was she at the end of the movie?
I felt bad for her. Dude, have you, okay, as
Full
a
on
woman
sprinting.
who's gone to like an amusement park and worn jeans and then got on like a water ride, it fucking sucks the rest of the day. You're like, my day is fucking shot. It sucks. You get home,
And
your fucking legs are chafed, everything hurts.
She was
And she's, like,
she was sprinting her
and
ass
shit.
off in those jeans.
Literally, you can hear the shearing just.
She's like, my legs.
That's how she stays so skinny. Just shears off sheer mass.
It's friction.
So no, but like, so I actually watched the because I actually didn't realize that the 2006 was a direct prequel. I didn't know. So I actually watched that one this morning and felt like it was just a much better done film than this one. I wanted to punch Morgan in the freaking mouth. He annoyed the crap out of me. Oh my gosh, like I don't know what it was. His face. And then why is it that one redhead chick? The only other movie I've seen her in is freaking Book of Shadows. And she's the same fucking character.
She was also in Sopranos
same
episode.
freaking character in this movie as she is in Book of Shadows. She's just this flaky,
No, she was a Wiccan in Book of Shadows.
Oh, that's it. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Otherwise, she's the same bitch.
She could have been a Wiccan, and
She could have been a Wiccan in this
No,
one.
They didn't address it.
she seemed more like a
Literally.
slut. That's what I seen.
They were
Wait,
they were sluts
they
in
were
both
all
of them.
horse. They were all horse.
Oh, there you go.
Lots of horse. But no, like it just, I didn't feel that it was as good. Now that being said, so to prep for this, I watched the original. I like the original in the sense of, and again, keep in mind, it would be different if I had watched it when I was younger, but I watched it now. I like the original because I finally got to see like what all the hype was about.
Yeah.
The original felt dirtier. It felt grindhousey. It felt not forced because everybody's fucking got damp. Like, I didn't like that in this one, but I liked how gristly and just you could feel the heat and everything else. Like, I'm sorry, but I lost it with this like freaking rainforest bullshit in the basement. Like, it really bothered me.
So it was pouring rain, and that
at the end of the movie, not any time else.
And
no over time else.
Have you ever lived in Texas?
Okay,
this guy has.
Great.
I can tell you right now.
Why
that you
is it perpetually raining in their basement?
Because their house is a dilapidated piece of shit and it's fucking leaking. It happens.
Everywhere?
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah, well, look at the house. Look at that house.
Okay.
That house
is dry everywhere but the fucking basement.
Because the okay. That's where water goes.
Water goes down.
With gravity.
Why doesn't it go into the soil of the basement? It's just standing water.
It does, but if you have
You look like you're standing in fucking Da Nang. What is it?
If you have a shit house with a shit basement and it pours, because I can tell you right now in Texas, it rains here. Okay, it rains here.
Yeah.
In fucking Texas, it rains so fucking hard that you have to pull over because it's literally like someone taking buckets of water and throwing it at your windshield to the point where I don't give a fuck.
So you're one of those assholes that I hate when I'm driving down the fucking road that it pulls over in the fucking rain or puts on your flashers and all of a sudden drops down to 12 miles an hour.
No. In Texas, yes. Texas, it's a whole fucking different ballgame.
I always thought Texas was dry.
It will. Well, now it depends.
It is and it's not.
It will rain its fucking balls off, and then it'll be dry, and then it'll rain its balls off, and it'll be like. And this will happen.
Is humidity pretty bad over there?
Yes.
That's somehow that affects water going into the earth.
If you
like
have
a normal process.
I will say, if you have
leaking,
a packed dirt basement, if you
For God's
and it is
sakes.
that's what that basement is.
He
It's
does have a
packed
point.
dirt.
Yeah,
it takes a lot for that dirt to actually start absorbing water. That's why they did pack dirt.
And I can tell you, this too. About,
so did it just freshly rain, even though we never fucking see it?
Well, also think about
it was a very short period of time. It could have rained the day before.
Hold on, I'm gonna get scientific on you for a little bit.
It could have.
Oh goodness.
So here's another thing to consider is the water table. If it rains enough and the water table is higher than what your basement is, your basement will flood.
Yes.
Okay.
And obviously that house being a dilapidated piece of shit and it raining like fucking cats and dogs all the time like it does in Texas off and on, it is very believable that their basement could have like a foot to 2 feet worth of fucking water in it because the water table will rise and the only way you're going to get rid of that water is to sub pump it out or to wait until you have a dry spell enough to where it goes away. That's it. I can tell you from experience because I've had friends that have had basements that have flooded and shit.
Okay,
out there in Texas.
all right, fine. It's a shitty basement. Whatever. I still feel like
Did you not see the house? It was a shit house. By the way,
that house could have been amazing though.
Fun fact. That was a real.
I did like the backdrop of the house.
Let him. He's gonna.
That was a real house. That one of the other things that I love about this film is that the only one scene that was actually shot in like a studio or where like they recreated an environment was the trailer. That was the only scene. Everything else was shot on location with a real building, a real structure. They said that house, the meat packing place, all that shit was shot on location in Texas. They found these places and they said they literally only did a couple of minor things to these houses and these factories because they look so fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Like they shot everything like real. They used a lot, like almost, I want to say 95% of their effects were all mechanical and practical. They didn't use a lot of CGI. They kept it true with that as well. They wanted it really grimy, really bloody, really gutsy, without using a lot of computer technology.
I think the only
Soggy.
CGI is Leatherface's face, right?
Yeah, when his nose is missing. Other than that,
and the guy's legs that were cut off.
Nope, that was special. That was practical effects. Yep, that was a fake leg.
Okay.
So what they did, and I'll go into detail about all that, but these houses and these places, it was just fucking perfect. They just happened to find them. They were able to rent them out for so long, and like I said, they barely had to do much to them.
Can you imagine, though, being that homeowner and the location count? Your house is such a terrifying piece of shit.
Yes.
All right. We don't want to do anything to it. We just want to shoot our movie in it.
Do you have 3 feet of standing water in your basement to make sure that it's just that extra grimy?
So Sammy has a serious issue with flooding everybody.
It irritates the shit out of me.
Fix your basement, you assholes.
Right. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Fuck
it just
this movie.
irritates me. It really did. All right.
No,
so,
but
anyways,
So you hate your
But
garage.
these locations were
I do when
perfect
it does
for the
that
movie.
shit. I get very angry.
One of the reasons why they like shooting these genuine
loads?
locations. If you're really into horror, you might.
Jesus.
One of the reasons why they really liked doing that and that where they didn't want to use a sound studio and all that bullshit is because it engulfs you into that environment. It makes it that much more real and it makes it that much more believable. And the actors
also helps
and
with the
actresses
budget.
get lost in it.
It also helps with the budget because Rob
Absolutely.
Zombie does that with a lot of his movies. The Devil's Rejects, Three from Hell, all those were all from scouting and looking for places, real places, and just filming it. You know, Captain Spaulding's house in Devil's Rejects, that's a real house. They just filmed it. So it's actually a good way to also lower the budget so they're not spending as much money making sets and stuff like that.
Right.
So
other than the basement,
Other than the standing water issue.
Yeah.
Imagine all the mosquitoes. Blah. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
like fucking buzzards.
We know, like Lenny does not like
The
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes are fucking bad there. They are
They're
bad.
the size of dogs.
No, like the size of a horse. I'm not kidding. Like they're like this fucking big, and they land on you, and the shit hurts. You're like, ah, and then you got a giant welt. Like I'm telling you, man,
Poked with a hypodermic.
everything's bigger in Texas. Their mosquitoes are fucking legit. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Anyways, anyways, I did like the original in the sense of it really did feel much more like grungy and just dirty. Seeing it now, again, being desensitized, it was kind of like the same thing of me seeing what was the other film that I watched recently that I hadn't seen younger, so I didn't have like the same like warm feelings. We just did it. Yeah, I get yes. Yes, because I didn't watch it as a kid.
It was in like 1990.
But I was 10. Like, again, I wasn't like a kid
Right.
when I saw
Scream.
this. No, it wasn't that. It was it.
It was it?
He was
Oh,
right.
okay.
I don't know. Stu got it right.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't
Hold on, let's
have-
record that for posterity.
I said he got that right, as in he named a movie correctly.
Okay.
Okay. That's
I
all he's
never
bringing
get, I
to
never
the
get that
table.
credit from you.
All right.
I'm just.
So, anyways, but that being said, I think going into it, again, I had much more of a critical. I had already been warped a good amount, but I could see it, like, imagining how terrifying it was. Again, though, I wanted to punch Franklin in the face. Like, he was
Okay.
so annoying.
You talking about the handicapped guy?
Yeah, like, I wanted to punch
he was
him
an
in the
asshole.
face.
He
Okay,
was
why
an
do you
asshole
think they didn't choose to include
and a fucking pervert
Franklin, as Cripple Franklin?
I don't know.
in
The guy,
remake?
the guy with the glasses was supposed
Well,
to be, I think, was
guess-
his like replacement.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
with
what I
his
felt like.
speech
Yeah.
impediment.
Yeah.
Because he is like that, what is that thing called? The
Lisp.
hair lip.
hair lip. He's got like a fixed hair lip or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why they didn't. They chose not. Do you think they were worried about showing them Leatherface killing a
Mangling
cripple?
a cripple?
I don't think
no,
so,
because
because-
I mean in the second installment, you see him become the
Yeah.
cripple.
I was ready for Franklin to die.
He
I'm not
makes
gonna
him a
lie.
cripple.
Yeah,
For
he
balance.
does. Yeah,
For
for
balance.
balance.
Yeah, he's got to
That
balance it out.
was so effed
Dude,
up.
fucking.
Oh my gosh! Even Mama's
Sheriff-
like, "What are you doing?"
Sheriff Hoyt. Sheriff Hoyt.
dude.
So,
No,
Charlie's
Sheriff-
dead.
Sheriff.
It's
Sheriff.
Sheriff
Hoyt.
Sheriff
it's
Hoyt.
Sheriff Hoyt now.
Oh
Call
my
him Sheriff
goodness!
Hoyt.
It was so good, and honestly, like that's it. Like Ermi, stole the freaking show.
Oh yeah,
He always
did.
does in
Like-
almost every movie you see him. in.
So good.
And the cast, the thing that was cool about that show, that movie, is that one, he said, okay, the scene where they're in the van and he's making the kid he's making them help him wrap the girl up in cellophane
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he starts.
Everything he said and did in that van
Is impromptu.
All of it was ad libbed.
Yeah.
all of it.
I can see
and
that.
he said that he said that like giving him this character, and when they approached him to do the origin, he was like, "Oh yeah," because
man.
he got to be real fucking dirty and perverted, and also do the Full Metal Jacket spin.
Oh, gosh.
He said it was right up his alley. He fucking loved every minute of it. He was.
No, he was having fun with the role.
He
Yeah.
enjoyed the living shit out of it.
He's the one thing I did like.
Well, it's so fun. It's again, just like we've mentioned in Full
Ron,
Metal.
I'm
It's
gonna kick you
so
square in the
great.
balls.
We'll see.
It's so great when you see somebody that's such and may he rest in peace. Like, I mean, he was a phenomenal
Yes.
actor, but he was also so pro troops. He was actually like a really nice guy.
He's
And
a
you see
great
somebody
guy.
like that. It's kind of like Bill Mosley.
Yeah.
As Chop
Top from the second one.
Okay,
yeah.
like super nice guy and fucking is insane on camera, just so visceral
of
and
my favorite parts of
and
that
out
movie.
of their mind, and
Yeah.
you know they love it because it's so polar opposite of who they actually are that they can just kind of blow the doors off of it and go to town.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up with, in my opinion, this was definitely weaker than I felt than the origin story. But a solid homage to the original. And now I'm going to kick it over to Ron.
All right. I'm going to give this movie 3 words. Boring as fuck.
You are the worst
This
person
movie
ever.
sucks. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
hey,
All right,
wait a
all right.
minute.
Terrible.
All right,
Wait a
no,
minute.
all right, no.
We have a new resident Debbie Downer.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to go back in history here. When we watched this back in 2003.
Boring?
I remember watching it in 2003, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's okay. We saw it. I owned it. I never watched it again, and then I got rid of it. It was on DVD.
No, I did watch it a couple times.
Barely. I don't recall watching it all that much. And now I remember why I never bought it, because after watching it again, because it's been like probably over a decade since I've watched this movie, and I'm not going to lie, it's boring as fuck.
How can it be boring?
I'm sorry.
It almost
it's a
immediately
constant
kicks
chase.
off.
All right, first of all,
how can it be boring
hold
in
on,
that
hold on.
damn
Okay, hold on.
basement?
First of all, hold on.
This
First
is the
of all,
guy that falls asleep during fucking movies. Like he.
That's just
doesn't
'cause he's
matter what it is.
old.
But I stood up and watched this fucking movie. Fuck you.
Oh,
Anyways,
God.
so I'm
He
going to
was
say
coherent
this.
through the whole thing.
I
I can
don't care for
vouch for
Leatherface.
that.
I don't care for Leatherface in this movie. Are
you insane?
I'm sorry. I like Bill.
Are you insane?
No, I like Gunnar Hansen and Bill
Oh
Johnson's
my God,
version so
I
much
love the
better.
original.
I'm sorry. No, even Bill Johnson
Fuck
in part
off.
2. I'm
Johnson.
sorry. I like the camp's 80s cheese. This movie, I can understand the grunge. There are some good camera
was much
shots.
more realistic.
All right, let me fucking say something. So, anyways, I'm going to say this. This movie fucking sucks. I
You
don't
suck.
like it. I'm never going to watch it again.
You suck. Everyone shun him.
All right,
Shun.
so no, there are
the non-believer.
there are some decent
very
camera
still.
shots, like the one camera shot from The Hitcher when the camera goes
The
from
one
behind
camera
and goes
shot
right
that's
through her
like
head.
right on Jessica Biel's
That was
boobs.
badass. The part where she blows her head off and the camera comes out through her head.
No, I'm saying there were some good, decent camera shots.
Okay.
Marcus Nispel is not really a good director. He also did the movie Pathfinder, which I'm sure you're a fan of, the one with the Vikings and the Indian.
And of course, you don't like it because you're racist towards Indians.
I've never seen it. What the fuck did that? Where did that come from? Get out of my fucking house.
He can't be. Last of the Mohicans
Oh
is one of his favorite movies.
sure.
Shun the Indian.
Kick
Shun
the
the
Native
Indian.
American out, sure.
Anyways.
But he's married to a Mexican. I'm confused.
This movie, I'm sorry, but the acting, I mean, the gore, there's some good gore scenes in here and there, but I mean, it just doesn't entertain me. I don't know why.
It's because you're desensitized by all the crazy fucking psycho shit you watch.
I like psychotic shit. To me, they're not psychotic. You
God,
know,
I wish we had that clip from Scream.
Lee Ermey did a good job, but I'm sorry. Chop Top from part 2 was a whole lot more psychotic.
No.
The Cook from part 1 and part 2,
It was just
I enjoyed them so
gross.
much better. I enjoyed both the Leatherfaces in the original movie. I like
God.
the 80s cheesiness in this one. I'm sorry, it's just not
Well,
good
You
to me.
liked
This
seeing
one-
him keep
I've
eating
seen
his
better
own head.
horror remakes than this one.
He doesn't like watching. He doesn't like seeing it if it's realistic. He likes it more cheesy 80s. That's what it is.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's
You
just it has also to
literally,
do with
you literally
entertainment.
said you liked it better because of a scab eater. That's all he's doing the whole time. He's like,
Yeah, and he's also crazy and psychotic as shit. I'm sorry, he's more entertaining to watch.
How is this family
Lee
not
Ermey,
psychotic as shit?
all right, Lee Ermey, but rest in peace. He's a great actor. I liked him, but I'm sorry, he says the same shit I've seen him in other movies. So
Oh my
it
God.
doesn't really entertain
I
me
want a
anymore.
punishment shot this guy.
This is my fucking.
Yeah, you can't punish a
I know.
shadow feeling.
I know.
This is my opinion.
don't
I'm
care about
telling
your
you.
feelings.
Sorry, this movie is never going to be watched again. Really,
My heart.
I can't see this
no,
movie.
I disagree because
My heart
I
hurts.
feel that
No.
you need to watch it with the origin into
All right.
it.
See, the thing is, that's the thing. I did not watch The New Beginning because
You
I
didn't
didn't
go the extra.
And believe it or not, the reason why I didn't
work I
watch it
did.
because I didn't care for this one. So I was like, this one's going to
If you
suck.
watch The New Beginning, it gives you more of
Maybe
an
it'll
appreciation
change.
for the
Maybe it'll
the
change
original.
my opinion, but I'm sorry. I'm still
Holy
original of the classic. I'm sorry.
Of course
No,
you
you're
are.
not. You like the second one better than the first.
What are you talking about?
You like Texas Chainsaw 2 better than the original.
Yes, part 2 is so much more entertaining.
But
I'm
you just-
actually more entertained by that one.
But that's okay. So I'm just going to say this. To each his own, tomato, tomato. Okay, fine. I'm just going to say this, though.
And the score sucks.
In my opinion, the characters in the original and in the second one were annoying. They were over the top. They're just like,
So
doing
But
this.
that made him more psychotic
no,
and
it doesn't.
insane.
You can. That's what I like about this remake is that every single one of these people, especially Leatherface, they are psychotic without having to like be silly and goofy in order to display that they're psychotic. They're psychotic, and you can tell just by how they are. That's what I think makes it such a genius thing is because you can watch a scene with Sheriff Hoyt or with Leatherface or any of them wwithout them killing anybody. And you can tell, man, that guy's fucking nuts. Without him sitting here going, ooh, and rubbing shit in his hair and being so over the top obvious. Hey, I want you to see that I'm crazy. Look at me being crazy. As opposed to an actor who is able to portray he's being crazy without having to do this over the top silly bullshit in order to show you that he's crazy. Do you get the difference?
I understand what you're saying, but I'm sorry. The first one, The Hitcher, was just the same as Chop Top because they're supposed to be twin brothers, apparently. Chop Top and The Hitcher from the first one. And I thought he was more psychotic, especially in that whole van trip when they picked him up and he was just like burning things and pulling pictures out. And he just looked like he was like, what the fuck? Why do we even have this guy in the van?
To what advantage, though? Because you think that he's going to lead them to the slaughter, and he doesn't. He just fucking acts insane, and they kick his ass out.
Now,
but then he marks the van.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's just fucking crazy. He bleeds on shit because they randomly end up at the fucking barbecue or whatever thing.
So
it's totally chance.
I'm going to throw this out there. This is a perfect segue for this. Now that you've completely shit all over my hopes and dreams, I want to segue into this.
But I never finished though. There are some positive points of the movie that I enjoy. Okay,
I want to hear this.
Like I said, some of the camera angles I enjoyed, especially of Jessica Biel.
Oh my god!
And also the one with the going through the corpses.
That sound is me rolling my eyes.
Yeah, I figured. Anyways, the fucking gun when the girl shot herself in the head, that camera going through, I thought that was ingenious. I thought that was actually
I felt
really
so bad that she had to take it out of her hoo-ha. I was like, whoa.
Do you know how they shot that? Do you want me to tell you?
What? Mm-hmm.
So the way that they shot that scene was they had to do it over and over again.
Figured that the back
people in the
window
van,
was a CGI window.
Nope, it was a real window.
Really?
It was all fucking real. The head, everything was real. The way that they did it though was they got one of those cameras that they use for endoscopy, and because it's really small, and then they got like a crane pole and they put the camera through the dummy's face. And then when they said action, everyone in the van would start screaming as if they just saw her blow her head off. And then they would slowly retract the camera out through everything. That's how they were able to do it.
I know that they did this the smoke from her actually smoking and then letting it just go.
And they actually, when she did that, the way that they shot that was... and she had to do this scene over and over again. So you think about this. Cigarette? No, with the gun, she had to pull the trigger, and there was this really strong puff of air that blow through her face like this, and she had to jerk her head back, and she had to do that over and fucking over again.
Yeah,
like every single, and that's one of the reasons why I have so much respect for this cast is because if you actually watch the behind the scenes, every single person in this movie had to be 100% committed because they hurt themselves. They were fucking exhausted. The director was one of those types of directors when he says, hey, action, like you have to be on your shit, ready to go, almost like military-esque. But that's the crazy thing. It was like one of those hideous, horrendous shooting scenes that most actors and actresses would be like, oh, fuck this, because it was hot. They're fucking sprinting their asses off. They're getting hurt. They're getting thrown down. Fucking Andrew's picking them up and fucking slamming them down and throwing them all over the place and having to do all this shit. He's getting his ass kicked too, like with the chainsaw and wearing himself out. And every single last one of them dug every single fucking minute of it because they were so excited to be a part of this film. To be able to show respect for Texas Chainsaw and to be able to say that they were a part of this film. They put themselves through the ringer. Even Jessica Biel, they wore themselves out to make this film happen. And there's a lot of actors and actresses that would see this and see what they went through and be like, oh, fuck that, man. Like, that's too much. And they loved it. They loved every minute of it. Yeah, absolutely dedicated.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know. I just found it boring.
And you're like,
the last 20 minutes is nothing but a full chase scene that just goes on and just never ends.
And again, more water.
Yeah, no, that is true. That fucking rain just kept coming down, and then
it's raining outside. He puts on the sprinklers inside because it has to be fucking damp for Leatherface in this movie.
And I'm sorry, but that scene at the end when she finally escapes and she's got the kid in the car or the car that she stole, the baby that I guess belonged to somebody else because they stole it, and then you see Leatherface hit the car and just look back. I was expecting the ballet with the chainsaw. That's what he did in the original. That's what he should have been doing. He should have been like with the one hand and everything else.
He had his hand holding his other hand, like whipping it around.
Yeah, he just looked back and says, he just looks and says, I'm going to get you back, bitch. I mean, that's basically all he did. It just, to me, it just, didn't seem good to me. I didn't like
less
it.
silly and more realistic, in my opinion. Again.
No, that's why I like the original better because to
So
me
you
it
liked
seemed
it
more
when he did
psychotic
the
because he
angry
was obsessed with his
chainsaw
chainsaw.
shuffle
That
in
was
the
his-
original. He's like,
Yes.
That's the best part. I love it. I'm sorry.
Seriously.
And he gets so angry.
What's the actor's name again? Alexander what?
No,
Hamilton.
Andrew Brzezinski.
Is that a punishment shot on you?
No,
it was a joke.
Fucking with you, Andrew Brzezinski.
Okay, Andrew. It's Andrew. Okay,
Andrew.
Andrew Brzezinski.
Andrew, if you happen to hear this, man, I am such a big
all right.
fan of yours. You're fucking awesome, bro.
The thing is, he was big and bulky,
I don't
but
even
I
care.
felt like, I don't know,
even
I
care.
just like Gunnar Hansen so much better. I also thought the look was so much better. He didn't have the slick hair. He had like the whole afro hair and everything else.
know.
And
It
the
looks
mask was better.
This is you're talking about from the second one, right?
No, I'm talking about from the first one.
The original.
Oh, the original?
Gunnar Hansen's the first one.
God.
Bill Johnson does.
No, I hated the mask in the original.
I like them both.
I did.
It wasn't. It was
No.
okay. Here's something about the mask too.
You know,
this is one of the things that is great about the mask for this Leatherface versus the original. The original was someone's face. This Leatherface, he did skin the one dude's face and put it on his face
in the
which I
origin
thought-
story.
Well, no, and
Eric.
also in the second
Oh,
one, the
yeah,
girl's
yeah,
boyfriend,
the new
that was
boyfriend.
freaky as fuck. But if you look at the face carefully, it is not just a face. It is a composite of other people's faces. Down here on his neck
There's a
is a
mouth.
girl's mouth.
Yeah.
It's as if he
like,
took
blah, 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 blah.
like the parts of different people's faces that he liked and made his own mask with it, which I think is
which is
fucking
what
awesome.
they would do. I would think is what he would do is somebody who has the mental illness and the self mutilation that he supposedly has in
The origin.
from the origin. In
Yeah.
the
Wait a
sequel.
minute, he hurt himself.
Oh yeah, it's like so.
Oh, yeah.
So literally, as you're going through like the beginning part of the film, you see like different ages come up. And
First
it's
off,
like
he's already
age
born
6.
fucked up.
Yeah,
he
he
is
was born like,
fucked
What
up.
is he? He has a skin disease, or does he have like
Yeah,
That's
he
what
has
they
a
had leprosy, skin
where his
disease, or
face,
something.
like
Falling
rotting
off.
Yeah.
Emery even says this is the ugliest,
Yeah.
ugliest thing I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
life. When
So
it was
you
just a
get,
little
to,
baby.
you get to see more of it. Oh,
So
as a
you
baby.
you literally get to see him like grow up, and as you're doing it, you're seeing like basically medical records being
Yeah.
panned on the
Different
top,
ages.
different ages.
Kind of
and
reminds me
talking
of Hills
about-
of Eyes.
You know, self mutilation,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the animal killings and
Yes.
everything else.
Which, by the way, to me is a better horror remake. Is Hills of Eyes. I'm sorry, that's a
really good
horror
remake.
it is a good horror remake, but
That's
brutal
one of the
as fuck.
few remakes that
So-
literally made my skin
Ladies
crawl.
and
It made
gentlemen-
you cringe, especially inside the trailer.
Oh, with
scene.
the breastfeeding.
How many-
So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are listening, Ron doesn't like this version of Texas Chainsaw because Leatherface didn't rape anybody with his chainsaw.
What the fuck? I didn't say anything about raping.
No, I know, but it's like it's not over the top enough for you. It's
Yeah,
like,
no, but that
he
was
killed
nice.
some people, but
And
he
I'm
didn't
sorry.
like
I'm
rape
sorry,
them
but-
with a chainsaw. So
I'm
I
sorry,
was
but
bored.
Caroline,
boring.
Caroline Williams,
Oh.
I thought did a better portrayal of the female. I mean, the scream, especially Jessica Biel can't scream worth the shit. I thought
She
that
was hoarse from screaming earlier in the thing.
I'm
like, she
sorry, but
lost her
Caroline
voice.
Williams had a better scream. She felt more like a scream queen in the whole in the part 2. I mean, you'd agree with me, Stu, right?
she definitely was a scream
Yeah,
queen.
that's what I'm saying. But Jessica
She
Biel,
wasn't hotter than Jessica Biel, though. Sorry.
she wasn't bad.
Jessica
wasn't hotter than
Biel,
Jessica Biel.
though, had a better. Everybody in the remake had better character development than the original people.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I can understand
straight
that. but
story
that's
wise,
a
they
lot
had
of-
better character.
A lot of
development.
older movies didn't have as good acting as it does now. Acting has changed
Disagree.
a lot.
So
I think they were better developed in the beginnings, like I
So,
mentioned.
I wanted
thought
to-
those
Oh,
were
in the beginning,
better.
yeah, but no, but I'm just talking about the original and the
Oh,
2003.
okay. All right. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to segue into, but I wanted to let Ron finish, was that so this is kind of a thing that I do whenever I watch scary movies, and I know that most people do this. You have this in the back of your mind when you're watching a scary movie where you can't really help it, but you put yourself in that film. If I was in this film, how would I survive, right? And there is a decent amount of scary movies where you're like, okay, yeah, she's stupid. She
Yeah.
could have done X, Y, and Z. She'd have been fine, you know? But I think what really makes a movie fucking terrifying is when you put yourself in their shoes and you're like, well, would I have done something different that would have made my survivability any higher? And you can't really think of anything.
Yeah.
That's what makes it
The
scary. And-
only thing that Beale did wrong. Oh, wait, hold on. No, wait. No, no. That was
The remake?
The remake. I'm thinking New Beginnings, where the girl goes back upstairs for her friend.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
She was like wide open
Yeah,
and
that's
she hears
ours.
her friend
Yep.
screaming and she's like, oh, damn it.
Yes.
yeah.
I
So
don't care. I love all my friends. I'd be like, fuck them, they're dead.
No, so if you think about the remake, I put myself in their shoes. I'm like, okay, if I saw a girl walking down the fucking road, all fucked up like that, with blood coming down her legs and shit, would I have stopped? Yes, I would have. Why? Because I'm a decent human being.
Yeah.
Not me.
Would I have been able to do it? Like, okay, and then the girl blows her fucking head off in my van. Would I have just taken her body and dumped it out of the van and took off? No, you can't. You've got to decent thing. You can, but the decent thing to do is to go find law enforcement, and that's the fucked up hook. Is that this dude isn't law enforcement, but they don't know any better, which is so fucked.
I feel like they should have taken it to a hospital.
Well, that was just it. Like, they tried to find...
I mean, you're going to call the cops
You're going to call 911.
Yeah, but at least if they had gone to a hospital, there ideally would have been other people, and they would have gotten murdered.
But here's the thing. They find the first phone, because back then people didn't have cell phones. They find the first phone they can find, and it's at that fucking gross thing with the pigs. That was so gross. And
what's terrible is I've actually gone to roadside things where that is a thing, and I'm like, what?
God, dude.
So gross.
And they, they're like, hey, we need police, da-da-da. And the woman's like, well, you're going to have to meet with him over here. Sounds weird, but I would have done the same thing and have been like, well, that sounds fucking weird, but okay, fine. Like, I've got to get this body out of my van.
Yeah.
So then they go and they do that, right? Well, then Kemper, by the way, stupid name, he fucking...
Sounds like a dog.
Yeah, it sounds like a fucking dog. Kemper, where are you? He fucking disappears. Okay, again, if that was my, if that was my girlfriend and like she disappeared, I wouldn't be like, well, everything's creepy and I don't want to be here anymore, so I hope they're still alive. We're leaving, right? Yeah. Now, if it had been a friend, no offense, Ron, I'd be like, man, fuck this, dude. I hope Ron's okay, but this is fucking scary. I'm out.
Wow, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
But a girlfriend...
I thought it was supposed to be bros before hoes.
but a girlfriend or a boyfriend or something like that, they're not just gonna... So Jessica Biel, like, her character, like, they want to get the fuck out of there, right? Especially after dealing with the cop. He was being super fucking creepy, but he took the body, he left. Like, they're basically scot-free. They can get the fuck out of there, right? Yeah. But no,
they're
Kemper's
dumb.
missing
No,
now.
they're stupid too, though, because literally you see Ermi take the gun that she blows her brains out and put it in his fucking holster, the one that it belongs in,
his ankle holster.
Yes, and they even are looking at him. Like, did you see this? Oh, well, still keep looking. Keep listening
but then
to this
you
guy.
think about it. These guys probably have smoked pot. They're young. They're stupid.
No,
they're
they
naive.
threw out the pinata of pot.
They don't know any better. So, like, if you think about it, like, if you put yourself in their shoes, there's not a lot of chance that you're going to survive. Not to mention the fact, I'm sorry, but you physically, I'm a decently big dude. If I tried to fight that Leatherface, like fisticuffs, he'd probably fuck me up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I think
put up them dukes.
Very, very gentlemanly, like.
Put down the chainsaw, sir, and fight me like a man. Ah, fuck, he cut my arms off.
All right.
Marcus of Queensberry rules.
It's just a flesh wound.
The other positive thing I have to say about the movie, though, the only other thing that I thought it had a decent kill with Morgan getting the fucking chainsaw off the fucking cross. That actually,
the better one.
I kind of closed my legs. I was like, oh, God.
The better? Oh. I'm sorry. That one, yeah, okay, great. Yeah.
That was a good kill.
No, the good one was a Beecher, the dude that plays Beecher in Oz and New Beginnings, and freaking Ermi's holding him down. He's like, start that thing up, son. He's like, gah, 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 gah. And he's laying on the chainsaw, and you just hear him like stalling it out, and then he gah, 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 and you just see him like cutting, and you hear how gnarly it is through it as he literally like cuts him in half.
It was.
I have to see that.
And I will tell,
so good.
So I'll throw it out there too. And again, you've got to see the fucking movie. But there's the scene where they the dude takes a bullet to the leg, so they cut that leg off.
Yes.
And then they go, well, we got to make it even. Let's cut the other one off.
No, hold on.
I think that
he
was
did it.
him.
That wasn't his first choice. He's like, oh, that's sloppy work because he had partially cut the other leg.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's going to get infected. Oh, got to take it off now.
And so
balance.
The thing that was crazy about that
I think
scene,
that was his mental like snapping even against his own family at that point.
Yeah. So the crazy thing about that scene was that they talked to the actors and actresses. Every single killing scene, every single scene where someone got fucking destroyed or killed, they talked about how they did it and explain, and like the characters that were involved got to explain what they were thinking. Like, for instance, the blonde guy, when he gets picked up and he gets fucking put on that hook.
Oh yeah.
He said like they had the apparatus. They put a metal plate in his back with a space for the hook so that he could be on the hook. And then they had, it was uncomfortable, but a lot better than having a hook through your fucking body.
Yeah.
They had like a harness system that was like digging up in his boys around his waist that was kind of holding his body weight. And then he's supposed to portray like he's being on this hook. He said when he looked down and fucking Andrew's like full everything and he's picking him up, he's not being helped. They're not hoisting him. Andrew straight up picked him up over his fucking head and put him on that hook. He said,
and that actor peed himself.
He said it scared the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
It scared him. He looked down at Andrew like, "Oh fuck me, this is fucked up."
Well, see, that wasn't bad, but Pepper sucked.
Pepper.
She's the redhead that got killed.
Pig.
No, her name is Pepper.
She's the one that was
Peppa.
No. I'm trying to remember.
The chick that he's like, she was a Wiccan. And
yeah, you didn't
he's
get
like,
to
you could
see
be a
really
Wiccan
anything.
too.
No, you just see him
just
shove the
feathers.
chainsaw in.
And they weren't even bloody feathers. They were like pretty snowy feathers.
Like, she died like a dove. So
when doves cry.
When that guy,
How often have you seen that lady?
So, excuse me. So when that guy gets his legs chopped off,
Monty, Uncle Monty.
Yeah. So the old woman, she, I forget her name, but
Mama.
They were
They just
talking.
call her
They were
Mama.
talking to Mama. She said that like, so it was all, so his legs were down inside of a seat, and then the part where they cut, where these were prosthetic legs, and they put like blood tubes in them and everything else, so it looked completely fucking real.
It was really good,
even with you looking at it. And she said that like a lot of her acting in that scene was not fake. Like it freaked her the fuck out because it looks like extremely real. Yeah. And she's sitting there like, oh my God. And this dude's legs are being chopped off and he's like screaming bloody murder. And like, you only get one take with this shit.
No, and she really sells it because she's like, what are you doing? Like, she's freaking out.
Yeah, she said it freaked her the fuck out. Like, it looks so real.
Wow.
Even with the cameras around, she's just like, oh God, I cannot look at it. Like,
all right, I'll get that. You know what? What I'll do is I'll watch the movie.
Check it
out.
I'll
see the beginnings into
and I'll
the only thing I wish they
my
had changed,
personal little review on a tasting room episode or something like that after this was released.
The only thing I wish they had changed in the beginnings was if the blonde chick, the girlfriend, was actually the same one. Yes,
I was wondering that too.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, is that what they're going to go for? I know it's a different actress, but is that what they're going to go for?
Because you saw like her like cutting her hair and shit.
And then kind of just giving in to the situation.
Oh yeah, no. And
so
again,
I was like,
I asked her if that girl was part of this.
Well, at that point, I hadn't seen the whole thing, so I was like, yeah, it could be, and it wasn't. So
but that's the only thing I think that would have been I would have done differently was to tie that even more, showing a direct.
Is it
tie.
terrible though that literally every single time that I saw Leatherface like walking sadly along the road, that fucking theme from the Hulk played through my head?
Yeah, he looks like the Hulk, dude, carrying the chainsaw. He's fucking huge.
Do you think he'd be a good Hulk?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I also
make me look like shit.
The also thing I didn't mind also is also it's basically another scene with Morgan because I thought Morgan actually acted really well as like being scared as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that he was shivering and the way that he was shaking and everything.
Spinning
Thought
on
he did a
himself.
good job.
The quiver lip,
the actor who does it is Jonathan Tucker.
Yeah.
The only movie I've ever seen him in is I think what's that movie about the rainforest?
The Ruins.
The Ruins, yeah. That's the last movie I saw him in. But
that's how he says
that
it. Yes.
scene with him in the car with Lee Ermey.
Yeah.
I thought that was decent, especially when Lee Ermey pulled that. Look, we got two things alike. Look at that.
No.
When he busted him in the mouth with the liquor bottle, that was fucking great.
Yes.
No, and I loved how, again, the psychological brokenness of Sheriff Hoyt in that, where he's like, I don't have much imagination, and like the guy's like sitting there and he's like scraping brains and teeth off the seat and sits there and he's like, put it in your mouth, because he's like, where do you see her? And he's like, there's no hole in her chin. No, you put it here, and he's like, do it, and then he freaking turns it and then clicks and he's like, you just killed yourself, the sheriff. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it was just, again, phenomenal.
He was fucking brilliant. In
that's really the only little small positive stuff that I liked about the movie. But actually, the scenes with Leatherface bored the hell out of me. I'm sorry. I just didn't care for Leatherface.
You need to see the beginning again because there's.
All right.
And I didn't like
I will give
Leatherface in most of the beginning. I really didn't.
He's still trying to find his.
I know, and I understood
he was
that.
trying to find his personality.
I thought he was
understood it, but I was just like,
he knocked that dude up with the hammer, though. That was
he did.
That was so great.
All right,
it was satisfying.
Here's a good question. So, if you saw the original Leatherface or Part 2 Leatherface or this remake Leatherface coming at you,
the new
which one would you?
I'd shit myself.
Seriously,
the guy in the new one would fill this doorway.
He's actually shorter.
No, he's not.
He's shorter than the original.
No, he's not. They're both 6'4".
No, I believe the other one was 6'5".
Okay, it's an inch difference.
Checked the internet.
Now, I will tell you this.
So.
I will tell you this. This guy is 6'4", and he's every bit of 280 pounds of solid fucking muscle. It's fucking terrifying.
Was he a defensive lineman?
I want to say he was, but I mean, if you see him in the movie The Program, holy fuck, man, he is massive. And like I said, all the shit he does in this movie, the reason why he's so good at it is because he's a fucking athlete.
Yeah.
Like the chainsaws, each one of the ones that they had a whole slew of chainsaws he used. They all weighed about 35 pounds, and half the time he's wielding them fucking one handed. Like, the dude is no joke, man. And again, he was so honored, and like the thing that I thought was so cool about him is that he had no lines, and all of his acting was all very physical, and it was very fucking.
He didn't have any lines in the beginning, also.
No, nothing.
But he was in the beginning, also, right?
Yeah,
same guy. And all the other, because there was
Same guy.
3 other Texas Chainsaw movies made after these two.
Which I didn't. I saw one of them, and I literally turned it off halfway through. I was like, "What the fuck?"
See, I was remember you telling me that you like those more. I didn't know that you liked
No.
this one. So,
You guys know how many Texas Chainsaw movies there are? How many are there in the series?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 of them.
Correct.
Oh, I was correct.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's 9 of them.
There's 9 of them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and they keep changing hands of production companies
And faces.
Yes. Okay, so you have the timelines are so fucked up in these things.
Yeah.
All right, so you have Texas, the original Texas in 74, Texas 2 in 86.
86, yeah.
Leatherface, Texas 3 in 90, and Texas Next Gen in 95. And those are the...
No, you're wrong. The new one is 6'5". Henson, Gunner, your boy was only 6'4".
Suck it, Ron.
All right, I was wrong.
Suck it
I was
long
wrong.
and
There you go.
shuck it high.
I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He's also an Aquarius.
Then they decide, all right, we're going to reboot the shit. Another production company comes, and here comes 2003.
Platinum Dunes.
Then
Platinum Dunes.
we're going to do a prequel, and that's what the beginning is. Then they go ahead and, you know what? We're going to do another production company gets it, and we're going to do a direct sequel to the original 74, and that was Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Okay.
All right.
Of course.
Then
3D.
it changes hands again. All right, we're going to do another prequel, and that's Leatherface, 2017.
Oh, that's the one where the little boy has like the cow head on him.
Dude.
With the hole in the head.
Yeah. So
Have you seen any of those?
No.
So you've only seen these 2.
I saw I think the one that you're talking about, the one that was the direct sequel to the 1970s version. I watched about...
Oh, I saw that one.
Texas Chainsaw 3D.
I saw like maybe half of it, and I was just like, eh.
It was decent. I thought it was decent.
It was all right, but it does. In my opinion, it does not compare to this 2003.
Well,
2006.
and again, kind of like they did in Texas 2, where basically like Leatherface is like, I have a girlfriend, I develop feelings. Crap.
Yeah,
they did
that's
that in
stupid.
3D.
Yes.
They did it in 3D, but this one it was she's my cousin, so she's family. I don't hurt her. It was ridiculous,
dude. So by the way, God, or something I was gonna say. The kid, I want to say
Jebediah or Jeremiah.
Kid with the
what
teeth.
Was his name?
Jebediah.
Like, oh, my name's Jebediah. That kid
Jebediah.
was actually really great, and I want to say it was the same kid that was in The Ring, the son.
Oh, I didn't.
It might have been.
I haven't
I'm 90%
seen it.
It might have been because he did seem
All right.
familiar to me for some reason.
Yeah.
Check the internet.
All right. So, and then the final one, it's the only one of the series that I have not seen. Apparently, there was one that came out in 2021. Texas
Yeah, I
Chainsaw Massacre.
just saw that.
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is it out or is it being made?
I'm
That's what
looking at this one. It says that it was released.
Texas Chainsaw in space.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody knows about these Texas chainsaws because they suck. That's why.
No, he has chainsaw
Wow,
for hands.
so now the whole industry, the whole thing
When Michael
sucks.
Myers gets brought up or Jason Voorhees, everybody's talking. But when Leatherface is talked, he's down the shitter. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. That's how I
Wow, and
Wow, this is your best friend.
It's kind of yeah. I played Leatherface, and I'm starting to see a connection.
And this
feel. And you won the costume contest, you idiot.
Yeah, I did.
So for people who don't like Leatherface, why did he beat out Jason? Just saying.
Because I was the host.
Yeah, that's a crap
Nobody
rule.
can vote for the host.
That's a crap
So
rule.
I would have won.
I want that
I would have
cup.
won.
No, you want to.
Shut up. You weren't here.
I was.
You were on the show.
I saw.
You know,
I
Sammy-
saw.
Do we
them.
have? Do we have a
I would have
picture?
won with my creepy Pennywise eye.
Do we have a picture of the four of us in our costumes on
the
our Instagram?
Yeah, in fact, after this episode posts, I'll go ahead and post
Because I'm sure people would love to see that and be like, oh, fuck, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely do that.
So the 2021 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is from Legendary, Apparently, it's a direct sequel to 74. They went ahead and threw everything
What
else
the
out
fuck?
again.
It's another one.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
See, that's what I'm seeing a lot. That's a new trend in movies lately.
They've been doing it for a while now. Like I said, they've already.
I've never heard of it. The thing is, why have I never heard of it? How come I've never seen it? Like, there's no like.
Because it's probably just released directly to like at-home video
or something like that.
Streaming service.
Because that was right in the middle of the COVID.
The Rona.
Yeah.
Your mom.
So, so this look on your face is so good, dude. I'm sorry. It's so good. So one of the things I was going to mention earlier, too, is that Sheriff Hoyt or Arlie Ermey, one of the things that he would do is that, first of all, again, he was very like, there was a scene in the movie you haven't seen yet.
The beginning.
Where he kind of gets his ass kicked. Like, he get the kid.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Which is where I think he lost his fucking teeth for the second one.
Yes.
Yep.
Or the first one.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So one of the kids.
That had to be the CGI too, unless that was actually real.
So there was Eric, who was the Vietnam vet brother, and then Dean?
Yes.
Dean was the draft dodger.
I didn't like Eric. I didn't like Matt Boomer playing Eric.
Really?
He was too pretty.
It didn't read right to me.
I didn't mind it.
So
He was nice to
I'm
look at.
surprised.
Well, see, there you go. So we're all talking about Jessica Biel, and she's rolling her eyes. And then Max brought him. She's like, yeah, they're really blue.
No. He does have blue eyes.
He
does.
Very pretty.
No, he's a very pretty man.
He's
I'm not
very
going to lie.
pretty.
It doesn't seem like a Vietnam vet to me. He doesn't read that way.
No, he doesn't. And I will say that he, you're not alone in that, because my wife.
Same thing.
Well, there's some other show. I forget what show it is.
Where he
he's like
yes, blue collar, white collar.
What did he play in that?
He plays like a
counterfeiter, a forger,
a con man.
Okay. It's a good show.
And she's like, oh god, he's so attractive.
Yeah.
So
That's why she's my bestie.
Isn't he gay?
No, he's not.
I think he's gay.
I don't think he is.
It doesn't matter. He's still hot.
So anyways,
he's still pretty, like a peacock, pretty to look
so
at.
there's a scene where Arlie Ermey's character gets like knocked down, and this young kid like grabs him by his head and literally is smashing his fucking head into the concrete, right? So, and they were kind of like, because he's kind of a little older, right? So like, well, are you?
Is he really?
Yeah, he's married to some dude named Simon Halls.
All right. Well, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah, so fuck you. I was right.
Well,
still a peacock, still pretty to look at.
Anyways, so he was like, they were like, hey, we're gonna have to do this scene. And Arlie Ermey was like, okay, yeah, fuck yeah. He's like, smash my face into stuff. I don't care. He's like, throw me on the ground. Like, he's like in his 60s, and he's like, I'm fucking for it. Throw me on the ground. Do anything you want to me. Like, he's so like
committed.
He's so committed, dude.
Yeah.
And it showed, like, they had like a pad, but this kid was legit going like, smashing his face into this thing. And Lee Ermey's just like, yeah. And he's just like letting him do it. Oh. It was so cool. That's the thing I love about him is like, he's not only is he like he really gets engulfed into his character, but like there's some physical aspects, and they're like,
I just love his ability to ad lib.
Yes.
Like I really do.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines. Wait. In the beginning, in that movie, okay. Again, why I loved it. But so like in this podunk town, because Blair meets has closed down, the town's dead, all of that. And like you see this like one sheriff, and he even goes, I'm the last sheriff in this area, blah, 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 blah. And like the army literally takes a shotgun and blows the dude away because he's going after Leatherface for basically hobbling and killing the owner or the foreman of the meat factory when it closed.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh shit, I just took out the whole sheriff department.
yes. And he just like takes him home and
it cleans up the
cleans up the thing, and they end up eating him because remember he's like they're making that stew.
Well,
and
they were starving. I mean,
we will never go hungry again.
Yeah.
So then his backstory about being a POW in the Korean War and
giving that into the cannibalism.
Exactly. I was like, oh, well.
Dude.
So they're actually cannibals in the second one.
Yes.
So that
they were cannibals in the second. All of the installments.
So. No, in the remake, you didn't see him as cannibals, did you?
No, but here's the thing.
Yes.
In the remake, if you think about it, listen, because they did not in the background shit, they said that they did not want to be openly obvious that they were cannibals, but it would be implied because, like, if you notice when the blonde kid is walking through the house trying to find Kemper. It's all the weird
looking, like,
they
meats.
purposefully put meat hanging from. They got an old mattress spring, and suspended it from a ceiling so they have like a platform to hang shit off of.
And the way they did
And
it
they
was
had all
really
this-
ingenious too, because it looks jerky-ish. So you're like, is it cow?
Like,
I don't think
and
so.
that's
I
just
don't
it.
know
It's
that
like
cow
it's
looks
questionable
like that.
as to
Yeah.
that doesn't
Because
look
you
like
see
it's
the
a
chicken.
normal animal.
Because you see the chicken
I guess
in
I-
both movies, by the way,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
original and the remake.
Yes.
They saw that freaking chicken in a cage.
See, I guess I can respect that a little bit because the cook inside the part 1 and part 2 of the original was the same way, especially making that fucking.
Yeah, he said he didn't
Alright,
eat
I
the
will
meats.
admit-
He said he didn't eat the meats, but he knew good meat when he found it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he did eat it.
I
He just
think in
didn't
the
kill
first
it.
one, he said he didn't eat it.
No, he wouldn't kill it.
Okay.
He couldn't.
Maybe you're right
He
about that.
didn't have the drive to kill. He still ate the meat, though.
Maybe right about that.
But yeah, so he, so they, what was I going to say? So there was a physical aspect to it. And the other thing that was really cool about, like if you can imagine working with someone like him, that people probably bug the shit out of him to do Full Metal Jacket lines. And the thing was, he didn't care. He loved it. He was like, yeah. He was doing like scenes from Full Metal Jacket and stuff off camera with like the cast and stuff and making them laugh. Like, oh, dude,
even with the
so
draft
cool.
dodging and stuff, you get a little bit of that flavor, that Full Metal flavor
Yeah,
in
he
those
goes-
scenes when he's addressing them.
Yeah, he's like, which one of you motherfuckers was burning your draft card? It's like he was.
Yeah,
pissed.
he
Did
was
you know you're a coward?
Yeah, I was like, oh,
man.
shit.
Oh,
you
dude,
fucked
even
up.
the part where like he's doing like the push-ups and he's like, if you can do 10 push-ups, you're free to go. And like as he starts just annihilating him and beating the shit
With
to
a
the point.
nightstick, yeah.
Oh, that's only half. That doesn't count.
That was a half one. Yeah, he's just berating and like breaking this draft dodger down and everything else. But what I loved is he's like, oh, and he does the last one because you hear his brother like, do it, blah, blah, blah. And he's like manages to get the last one. He's like, well, I'm a man of my word, and then he beats the shit and like crushes his back, and he's like, my money is he's not moving. And I was like, damn, dude.
You know what's funny about that scene is they said that scene, they shot that scene over the course of 7 days. And he said that like the nightstick was made out of like foam, but he said that Arlie Ermy was fucking nailing him with this thing, and he said it fucking hurt.
That's probably why he was so angry when he was like, boing,
yeah.
boing, boing,
So
boing,
like
boing,
when he
hitting
got
his
when he
face.
got like to the end where they finally were done shooting that scene, he was like, thank fucking God, because he said the first couple days. He was a little sore, no big deal. But after that, I got to the point where I was like, fuck this guy, man. Because he was whack. He'd hit him. He's like, oh, it's starting to fucking hurt. He's getting sore. He's tired.
Imagine all the bruising and like getting
dude.
on top of those bruises.
Yeah, like even with it, like I said, even with it being a foam fucking baton, he said this shit started to hurt and sting after a while. And he said Arlie Ermy did not fucking hold back. He made it realistic and fucking nailed it.
So
with
which
it.
one do you like better, the 2003 or the beginning? I mean, just curious. Out of the two, which
Beginning.
one?
2003.
Okay, I was just curious because it seems like
But
all three of you are like.
2006 is for me is very close second.
They did a really good job because it only the 2003 one. I felt like it only was maybe a few weeks after the beginning was.
Yeah. Because you can imagine that they did 33 murders. They can't be like over a prolonged.
Yeah. So, but it felt very fresh. So they did a really really good job of making it feel like this is all part of one big
cohesive
movie.
story.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I again, like, I feel like this is, well, I know you disagreed with how I felt about like the It movies, but I could honestly see like watching the beginnings right and literally go straight into the next one.
Yep.
That's literally what I did right before we did it. I was fucking tired.
It's one
I was
big movie.
I was sitting there and I was
Fine.
like, it's almost 5 a.m. Jesus. But I enjoyed
that's
it, man.
commitment.
But no, so also was going to say, like, again, the survivability in this movie, it's hard because, like, even the scene where the girl, she's running and she finds the trailer. And
and she thinks she's safe.
Now that's a question I have. Do that big
That
fat
big
woman?
lady's in the beginnings. The big lady, not the little one that like is all like.
Is the little one even explained what she is? Like,
She's
just part of the family.
inbreeding.
So what it's implied is everybody has left that fucking town.
Yeah.
Except for this handful of people. That's
and
it.
they're-
Everybody has
one family.
abandoned this town.
One big family.
The meatpacking plant is shut down. The real Sheriff Hoyt even says, "I'm the last lawman in this town," and even next week I'm going to Michigan. All right, this implying that this town is dead. And so only these few people are left in the entire town. And whether they are actually truly related or they're just that weird, everybody's related, but they're not situation.
Well, I don't know about like the fat lady being related or like a neighbor, because even like Mama's like, we have company coming, so it makes me feel like it's not.
But it's all
dude,
very
it's so
close.
funny in the beginnings because they literally pin her and use her to like keep Leatherface out of the fucking room. It's so funny. They're like, oh shit, push her against the door to keep her
because
out.
when you see her in that chair, she's. It looks like she's just one big.
She looks like
she's the big girl.
No, she looks like one of those people from what is that TLC show? 600-pound Life.
And she was the most positive one inside the whole fucking trailer.
She was creepy, man.
Well, that's the thing. That whole scene where they go into the trailer, I'm just like, oh god. And like when the girl's like, here, have some tea, and she hands her the cup.
You know what was drugged?
I was
why
like,
did
don't
she fucking
drink
it? But that was such a stupid moment.
I will say,
but how nice Mama treated the blonde chick.
But think about this.
Creepy, dude.
She was.
I never had a girl. Snip, 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 snip.
Well, she was hysterical. That was the thing. Like, and then she comes into. That's the whole. I think that's what was so disorienting and why she like took the sip of the tea. She's not thinking because that trailer, that whole thing was so surreal because it's like all this chaos and death and shit's going on. Then she comes into this trailer. And it's like a completely, it's a 180. It's nice and calm.
Oh, dude.
It's as if there's just the normal time. Nothing's going on. So she's just like, wait, what the fuck is this? And she's like, here, have some tea. And she just, sometimes someone hands you something and you're being polite. You're not thinking about it. And you take a sip of it.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Well, I would have gotten my ass killed in this movie, man. I'm going to tell you right now. Because I was just like, fuck.
Lenny would have been like, thank you so much. That was terrifying.
Oh, my God. That's so kind. I don't feel so well.
And I'm dead. And the beginning did a good job. You're not knowing. They're all going to die. No, you logically the family has to get away with it.
Well, I assume those bodies
because they'd taken part in the same spot, so you knew they had to get away with it. And so you just keep waiting, you keep waiting, and then she gets in that car and starts driving away, and so we're like, how are they going to do this?
Dude, that dude is so freaking nimble for 6'5".
Yes.
He got in the backseat real quick.
Yeah.
And then killing that her last ray of hope, make the cop had that other farmer pulled over.
Oh,
and so that and it's fucking exploding them.
Yes, bodies everywhere, literally just. And again, then you see Leatherface walking away, and you just hear the theme from the Hulk playing.
So the with the cow, I will say that was actually the way that they shot that.
It was legit.
Again, they all the practical effects, and that was the other thing that was really cool is that in the 2006. So there's a couple things going on with the 2006 movie. One, they wanted to make it seamless, which they did a great job because even though it was a different director. The very first thing he did is he grabbed all the original actors that were going to be in this next one, and he was like pulling ideas from them, and so that they would have very similar, very close vibe from the other movies, so it would seem like that. So he did a great job with that. Again, stayed very true to the practical effects of everything. One in particular that was really good was the cow. Because the Jeep hits this cow, and the cow literally fucking explodes.
Yep.
And the way that they did that was they got this cow that was made out of fiberglass, and it was like the inside of it was like a giant tub, basically, and they just filled it with fucking blood, and then they covered it up and painted it and everything else, and then they had this. It was again one of the things with these practical effects is some of these effects, as amazing as they are. You can't fuck it up because it's like...
It's a one and done.
It's a one and done, or it's going to be very expensive to redo it. So they had one shot at this, and they fucking nailed this cow, and it fucking exploded, and it was perfect.
Which one was more gorier, 2003 or the beginning?
And I'm rolling right into that. 2006 was much gorier, and the reason why is because 2003 came out, it was pretty gory, it was really good.
That's the thing. I thought it was kind of tame.
Of course, because you're a psychopath.
No, I seriously thought part 2 was the most goriest out of all of them, in my opinion.
So this...
Movies don't make psychos.
Yeah.
They don't create psychos.
Thank you. I fucked it up.
No, you're fine.
They make psychos more creative.
So the 2006 movie definitely raised the bar even higher. And one of the reasons they said they had to do that was because 2003's remake came out. And then within the span of 2003 and 2006, you had fucking Hostel, Saw, all these like hardcore in your face
gore porns,
no hold punches, fucking gore porns coming out with people getting fucking eviscerated. So they had to up the ante with the 2006 movie because they had to be able to compete with all these other films, but still not make it like ridiculous over the top. And they did, like I said, you'll like it.
Okay.
And the
like
fact
I said,
that
I will give my own review on like another tasting room.
the fact that Tommy ends up killing his own dad.
Yeah.
And that's his first kill.
Yeah.
I was like,
dude.
oh, that's perfect.
Oh man,
That's perfect.
that guy was I loved it. I loved seeing him getting eviscerated with that hammer, man, because he was such a dick.
Yes.
Such a dick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, well, I have a question real quick because I kind of, this is a type thing. If you could think of any single moment in a gory movie where it actually made you physically like, whoa, like the effect was so good, what would it be?
Ooh.
I have mine, but I'm going last.
I would say The Hills of Eyes when the father is burned up and you see his eyes getting white and
Oh yeah, because you don't like burns.
That's probably my hardest scene where I can cringe at. I don't care for that scene.
That makes sense because you cringed in Mirrors too.
I don't. Yeah, burning has always been a thing for me. So that probably that scene
where the chick's
right
like
there
on fire and
remember you see him just screaming out in the fire and his eyes turn white. I thought that's
you're talking about the remake, right? Because the original was a lot different.
Yeah, no, the original was
the
very
one
tame.
with lotion and basket. That guy.
Yeah. Stu, how
He
about
does it
you?
better than me.
Put the lotion in the
That's a good question.
That is
Sammy.
a very good question. I think the only thing that and it wasn't even
Are you a size 10?
Are you all right?
Spicy boner?
I got my vaccine. I threw my arm up and my
Oh, okay. I was like, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Oh. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me so hard. Oh.
Had to put that in there. Sorry.
Sorry, guys.
I think
That's
probably
my goriest scene right there.
Well, I mean,
probably
wait a
cringeworthy.
minute. We didn't talk about that version of Leatherface.
Cringeworthy to me was the first unveiling of Human Centipede.
Really?
Dude,
the first
you know
one?
what? I got to tell you.
The first time they and not just because it
Maybe
was
Human
physically
Centipede Part 2.
No, like not because of the physical effects that they shown, just the idea and then seeing it in action, and it's just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
and knowing what the doctor had to do to
Don't
those
know
people.
exactly
You know what?
where to
That's a
look.
good one.
I'm just like, oh.
That's a good one. How about you, Lenny?
Dude, I don't know, man. I kind of have to agree with Stu because I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't even see that movie, nor will I see that movie. No. I saw the preview.
There's no unseen.
I didn't even get through the whole preview. I watched like maybe I've had when they kind of showed what they look. I was like, oh no! And I turned it off. I
Gives
was
whole
like,
new definition.
Oh, okay.
You
If
never go
that-
ass to
no,
mouth.
no. If that scene bothers you, watch the second one.
Oh no, I've seen the second
my
one. Yeah.
God,
Even
bro.
worse.
No.
Wait till we bring up
That
Clerks
one-
2.
But no,
You never
that's
go ass
like I
to
said, it's
mouth.
just that original,
Like,
it. Even though I knew that's based on the preview, that's what he was building towards,
Like-
and in the movie, that's what he's building towards. But to actually first
When you
see
actually
it,
see that,
and,
he
all
fucking
the
did
after
it.
all the work that he had put into
Dude.
it, modifying the people and everything, and I'm just like, oh, that's so horrible.
No.
Oh, so horrible. But then I knew what to expect come the second one. I'm
So,
like, okay.
For those of you that are South Park fans, they did a spoof on that where instead of it being some mad scientist, it was Apple that did it.
Yes, yes.
And then they unveil it on stage. It's the Sentai pad.
Yes.
And it's basically 3 people surgically put together, and then there's an iPad just taped to the forehead of the person. And then Eric Cartman, because in the very middle, the middle person is Kyle from
Yes.
And then fucking Eric sees it and he goes, you know how he is. He wants everything, and his mom buys him everything. He's like, oh, my God, are you telling me it's an iPad and it shits in Kyle's mouth? I have to have this. It's like, so gross, dude.
How about you, Sammy?
For me, damn. I'm going to have to also go with the remake of Hills of Eyes. The part where the mutants are in the trailer and the one starts in breastfeeding.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Like, as a female.
But that's not a gory scene.
As a woman who has
It's what is
breastfed
viscerally-
children, it literally just, even thinking about it now, I'm like, like, oh my gosh, it's such the perversion of what is supposed to be like the very epitome of being a woman, aka becoming a mom, and that bond.
It's supposed
and
to be a very pure
it.
and beautiful thing.
Yes, this beautiful, natural like thing as a woman you do, and then it was perverted so bad that
I'm seriously thinking about picking that movie sometime next year, Hills of Eyes, because I think that's one of the best horror remakes ever. I'm sorry, it's a good one.
So I tell you what, let's segue into giving our final ratings. So I don't know, man. So we threw around different ideas. Totally up to you guys. Do you want to do all like we rank them all, or we just rank?
Well,
the
if you rank
original
all about
remake?
so everybody here except for Ron, who sucks dick.
Fuck you.
We did rewatch the original part 2, the remake, and the sequel to the remake, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So we got 4 to go.
And I started looking into the redone prequel.
Yes.
So,
and let's go with those 4 right
Okay.
there. I think that's a fair.
So Ron, you haven't seen the origin.
All right, so
one.
if
Let's
I were to
do the
take that
others.
one out, since I haven't seen it yet, this is how I'd go.
Ron's review has an asterisk by it.
Part 2, part 1, remake.
Okay.
Sorry, that's how I see it.
So what would you say? What was instead of doing a pint for each one? What's your average pint?
Well, no, I'll give a pint just for the remake because that's what this show is about is the
Okay.
remake. So let's just do the pint on that one. But if I'm doing the ranking, that's what the ranking is. If I were to give this out of 5 pints of beer, I thought about this, and I'd say I give it maybe a 2.
I hate you.
I'm sorry. That's how I feel. A 2. It's not a 3. It's not. It's to me. It's not rewatchable.
Like it.
It's not.
I didn't like it because it was constantly wet. Like I couldn't even stand it. I'm going to give it a little more credit than that.
Yeah.
Was it moist?
So, Sammy, what's your ranking?
So for my ranking, I'm actually going to go with The Beginning. So the 2006 installment, The Beginnings. Then I'm actually going to go with the original. Then I will do the remake, and then the second installment.
Oh, that sucks. Part 2's good.
Fuck Chop Tank or whatever the fuck.
Chop Tank.
Chop.
So what's the?
Should that be a punishment shot?
No, because that's how little I care about the character.
What is it with trying to call punishment shots on everybody tonight?
Because I keep getting fucked with them.
As far as pints for the 2003 installment, I'm gonna have to go with a 2.5.
Oh my God!
No, and honestly, because I really did enjoy the beginning story so much more. I felt like it was so much more done. It was just
There was
characters
no leaky
more
basement.
There was
were
no
all well
leaking basement.
insulated.
Everybody, even though she was less, the chick that survived or didn't survive but got killed last in that movie was less wet being in that vat of cow blood than fucking Jessica Biel was that entire movie. Okay, it was ridiculous.
Okay.
And so for ranking, I will do that. And for pints, I'm going to have to do that because it was lacking. Even though it was decent, it wasn't as good a installment as the origin, which is so weird that I felt that got
fine.
Way more together.
Does the origin make you appreciate the remake more?
It does, which is why I gave it that half pint extra. Because I'm not going to lie, kind of like Ron, when we rewatched it, both of us were just kind of, it's a big deal when both of us look at each other and go, and continue on our night. Like, it literally had no effect. It wasn't terribly memorable other than basically Jessica Biel's tits for Ron.
No, Lee Ermey. Lee Ermey was good. He was his tits.
Yeah, for me, like Lee Ermey's tits for me.
He's basically what gave me that 1 point from, because it was going to be a 1, but Lee Ermey was.
You've got to love Lee Ermey. I mean, this is again one of those just really, and that's again why the prequel installment gets more, because you see just that level of insanity get developed, which I was like, oh my gosh, it's so great.
How about you, Stu?
Okay, I'm going to go with the original just because it does. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
You should just see Lenny's face like, what the fuck?
Just because it did such a good job invoking, visceral feelings inside of you, uncomfortability, claustrophobia, the sweltering heat, the oversaturation
on bodies are.
Yeah, everything did really, really well to provoke those feelings inside of you. But then immediately followed is the remake. Remake is right behind it, and not even too far behind it. It isn't like leaps and bounds. Then it's going to be the beginnings, and then it's going to be number 2.
Because number 2 is number 2.
Yeah, and if I had other movies in there, it would number 2 would even fall farther down.
Yes.
Number two, I'm sorry. Dennis Hopper was amazing.
Chainsaws
yes.
against chainsaw. Is
Dennis Hopper was amazing as Dennis Hopper. Yes,
they touched chainsaws.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of
but
stroking of chainsaws.
It was
in that one.
campy without knowing it's campy, and so it's not even like it's enjoying and leaning into it.
Did you not care for Bill Moseley?
I love.
I like
Bill
him better
Moseley.
as Otis than Chop Tank.
See, I love
or whatever the
I
hell
love
his
Bill
name is.
Moseley's Chop Top, and I love the Hitcher from the first one. I thought they were
I understand, but just overall, it just it was a B movie that I didn't know was a B movie, and I'm just like, all right. So no, I have to give it the original. I'm gonna have to give it then closely by the remake, and then Beginnings, and then number 2.
And what's your pines for the 2003?
See, I would have given it a 3 if it wasn't for Beginnings. I'm giving it a 3.5. Because of Beginnings.
Wow. Okay. That's And Lenny, what's your ranking and your pines?
All right.
5 out of 5.
So I would say the 2003, 2006, the original, and then the sequel to the original.
You guys suck.
No, you suck.
Nobody loves part 2. I'm sure there's people out there that agree with me that part 2 is better. I'm going to put a fucking poll on Instagram.
And just like you, they'd be wrong.
Believe everything you read on the internet. Hey, Pumpkin.
I'm going to put a poll on Instagram, and I'm going to prove you guys wrong. Seriously.
Yeah, whatever. So, anyways,
whatever. Where'd all of a sudden Urban Lenny come from?
Real quick though, can I say how much I did not realize until watching the second installment of Texas Chainsaw that literally House of a Thousand Corpses might as well just be a remake of that movie.
Yes. Well, Rob Zombie.
Holy crap, dude! Legitimately, I'm watching it. I'm sitting there thinking I always thought that A Thousand Corpses was very much like Rob Zombie. Honestly, a very long music video. No, a very long music video for fucking Rob Zombie. And I love Rob Zombie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
they're amazing. Love Sherry Moon. All of that. That being said, literally, I'm watching this and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the same fucking set. I was like, what in the world is going on right now? It was weird.
Yeah. So overall, man, like I said, having Arlie Yermy in it was fucking fantastic. He did a great job. One of the things that I again loved about these remakes, or the remake and then the origins, is
what's your pipe review?
He's working up to that.
4.5. I'm giving 4.5.
4.5.
Wow.
Yes. It's fucking excellent.
4. Wait, hey, you know what?
Wow.
You know what?
That's the same thing as your Mayhem rating, right, Ron?
Shut the fuck up. God damn, you keep fucking bringing that shit up. All right. Anyways, you have always been. I've always known you to ask you what's your favorite horror movie, and you've always told me Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, you went that as Halloween. That is your ultimate favorite movie, so I respect you for that. So I can completely understand your rating, because I'd probably get the same thing to a Jason Voorhees film. I mean, that's how big I am on Jason.
Spoiler alert.
I haven't given it yet, but I will give it to you.
In a future episode, we will do blah blah blah. Suck my dick.
So anyways,
you guys suck.
So I will say that, for me, what really sold it was Andrew Bernarski. Dude, if you're listening to this, I highly doubt you are.
He's fanboying so hard.
I don't care, man. You guys shut up. He is fucking awesome, bro.
We thought Lenny was into Jessica Biel.
I'm going to tell you.
He wants me and Andrew.
I know, the man behind the mask.
50-50 right now. No, so here's the thing, man. If you were trying to leave a legacy, then you've done a good job, and you've done it because that you portraying Leatherface was really what sold this movie for me, because the hulking, terrifying fucking presence that you bring to this movie is really what I think really did it. And I think that I want to say, again, may rest in peace with Arlie Yermy.
Yeah, man.
Him and the other cast members that portrayed this family or this group of people did an extremely good job of being able to portray people who were fucking unhinged and capable of just about anything without being goofy over the top with their acting and with their motions and the things that they do. It's just that's that subtleness of if you ran into this person within 5 minutes, if that, of a conversation with them, you'd realize that they're fucking nuts, that there's something off with this person. I just overall, I think everything was right on point with this film, and it really inspired me to play Leatherface the way that I portrayed him when I was on Halloween walking around freaking people out.
You guys did have fun.
Dude, it was excellent.
You guys have a lot of fun.
I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll definitely get back with Ron at some point for the 2006 version when he watches it. Thanks for listening, guys.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to our podcast, Barrel Age Flicks. We are so excited for the upcoming episodes headed your way and bonus episodes of The Small Batch, Sammy Selects, and now the new Tasting Room. If you like our show, please spread the word, give us a like, or leave us some kind of review on any of the social media pages. Give us a follow on Instagram, Barrel Flicks, or Facebook, Barrel Age Flicks. Our podcast is available on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Anchor, Radio Public, Audible, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, YouTube, and now Pandora. Please shoot us an email at barrelageflix@gmail.com with comments and movie suggestions for future shows or any other things you'd like to let us know. Credit to Carl Casey at White Bat Audio on YouTube. Man, your music is awesome. We thank you so much for that. It's great. You guys go ahead and check him out. I just want to say thank you so much. We hope to see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening. See you then.